Hi there! This video is in recognition of Nigeria's independence, which took place on October 1st, where Nigeria turned 60 years of age. So I'm going to be dedicating this video to all Nigerians out there. It's going to encompass how a Nigerian lifestyle is and basically the pros and cons and how we can move forward from our current situation to better the lot of Nigeria and our country as a whole. Stay with me. Nigeria as a country is multi-ethnic because it has over 200 ethnic groups in the country alone, with various people of different culture, different religions, different tribes. But within all of these differences, you would see the sense of unity, the sense of togetherness within Nigeria. They have this sense of tolerance because they have to tolerate the other culture. The other culture have to tolerate the other culture like that. And you will see this unity in the midst of our diversity, and that's one of the best things I see in Nigeria as a country, because I don't think you can actually house that amount of different people with different ideologies, different theories, different values and have peace. And then the peacemaking that Nigerians are making or are striving to achieve in respective of their difference in culture, in tribe, in size, amongst others, is actually part of the reasons why we are working towards a better Nigeria. As a Nigerian, you would agree with me that the shout of change has been chanted for years, and now I think the change that we all deserve, or the change that we all want, has been so much long overdue. And the main reason why we have problem with the issue of change is the fact that we do not really accept the fact that change starts from you, because Nigeria is made up of citizens, and for each and every citizen, you're either contributing to the good side of the country or you're contributing to the downfall of the country. Imagine if I decide to be a law-abiding citizen of the country, then you decide to be a law-abiding citizen of the country. You train your folks, like this, your family, your relatives, everybody in your household, to be a better Nigerian, to be a law-abiding citizen of Nigeria, and the train goes on like that. Then as a whole, we finally get a very good Nigeria or a better Nigeria. And such that in a situation whereby a few people are not law-abiding, or they do not pay attention to the law, or they do not go in support of the law, it will be easy for us to conquer them, because they are few in number, unlike what we have now, such that corruption is the order of the day, robbery is just the way to make it, theft is now like our new normal, amongst others. That's why I said this change that we all seek starts with us. One of the reasons why the issue of the change starting from you or from me should be taken as really important is the fact that as a citizen, there's little to nothing that you can do, because you do not wield enough power to actually control how the state is being run or how the country is being run, amongst others. But there are a lot of things that you can actually do to better your situation in the country, or our situation in the country, which is starting from being a law-abiding citizen of the country. It takes us little to nothing to obey even the tiniest of all rules, such as traffic lights, do not drop refuse on the floor, interstate rules, amongst others. It actually takes us little to nothing to obey those rules, and I really do not understand why a lot of us fall victim of violating those laws. But then it will cost the whole nation as a whole lot if you are violating the laws, because obeying the laws makes for a good environment and a better society for us all to live in, and disobeying the laws makes for a poor environment, and that's what we are all complaining bitterly about. At this point, I really want to appeal to all Nigerians that I really understand that we are going through tough time, and I mean, there is this saying of after every hardship there is a relief, and there is definitely going to be a relief. We all need to keep our hopes high, but while keeping our hopes high, I feel like we really should be very considerate of those that are in power. Being a leader of something or directing a group of people is never an easy job. Like just the same way as a class captain, you have to account for the number of pupils in your class or students in your class. It's the same way as the president of the country has to account for every person in the country. In fact, people that he never knew existed, he has to account for them. And for the fact that we are not in power, we do not exactly know what transmits in power. We do not exactly know what exactly is going on, and why some laws are made and why some laws aren't made, which is why we should be very careful when we want to criticize the government. I'm not saying that we shouldn't express ourselves. I'm not saying that we shouldn't criticize the government to better their administration. I'm not saying that we shouldn't voice out our observations about an administration. All I'm just trying to say is that whenever we want to voice out our opinions in how the country is being ruled amongst others, it will be of great importance that we voice them out with verified facts. That is, let's get our facts straight and right before we go into criticizing our government, because they are just as human as we are, and to her is to man. Moving on to the poverty level of Nigeria, in an article that was published by statistics.com on the 4th of September 2020, it states that as at 2019 has increased to 40.1%, which makes it 10 out of every 10 Nigerians, 4 of them are poverty stricken, which means that if you count 10 Nigerians, you have 4 of them that are in poverty, and it's quite alarming because that was actually before COVID-19. After COVID-19, because during the whole COVID-19 pandemic, still during this pandemic, we realized that some people had to lose their jobs, some people have to find another means of survival, another means to earn income, which has not really been forthcoming due to the whole pandemic. And now, with that as has happened during the whole pandemic, we all can just imagine how much our poverty rates would have increased after the pandemic, which leads me to the fact that we as Nigeria, like I said, we cannot exactly control things, but we can influence or we can better our lot. And in this situation of poverty, we can better our lot by promoting each other's business. I run a business in clothing, you run a business in bags, you run a business in accessories, like clothing accessories. We all can come together. I buy from you, you buy from me, things like that, to help promote each other's business, to help people put something on their table to eat. And that's just basically it. We have a lot of NGOs whose sole purpose is to help those that are in poverty, those that are suffering and do not really have a means of survival. If we can't be there working, then we can actually just entrust that to the NGOs that have already been established with the sole aim of reducing poverty in the country. Most of all, to crown it all up, I would actually like to dedicate this particular part to parents to be amongst others, because this is actually us taking this back to the roots. Like I said, for every child, for every newborn, the first thing that you learned are learned from your family. The parents being your best friend, the parents being your source of joy, the parents being your first school of thoughts. And that's actually why I'm going to be directing this to parents and parents to be. We actually need to work on raising our kids to love, to care, to be patient, to be tolerant, amongst others. And funny how all these teachings do not just lie on words of mouth. You don't preach it to them, or you don't teach it to them by saying it, but you teach it to them in practical. Like, learn to love them irrespective of their differences, irrespective of the fact that they do not do what you are doing, or they are not treading the path that you want them to tread. You still have to learn to love them, and that's actually what might even change their mind and make them come back to the path that you want them to come to, or the path that you feel is best for them, amongst others. You have to preach to them the sense of being happy, of being joyful, of being their joy and happiness, such that when they leave the comfort of your home or of their home, they are able to go out and actually breathe in that happiness that you have given to them out to people. A lot of people are toxic nowadays. A lot of people are very aggressive nowadays. Like, you find different things in people, but imagine if all of that have been corrected from their first school of thought, which happens to be their home. So it starts with your home. And that's why I'm directing this to parents to be. Please, I really need you to work on building the best of homes for your kids. If you build the best of home for your kids, it's going to just lead to a fantastic society as a whole. Because I build the best home for my kids, you do the same thing, the next person does the same thing, the next person does the same thing, so that when those children comes out and they mingle with each other, they relate with each other with peace, with love, with sincerity, with truthfulness, with trust, with faith, and it actually just betters the whole lot of the country as a whole. I know it's not easy parenting, and there's no perfect school that teaches parenting, but I feel like for every effort that you put into it, the Lord is very merciful and will actually crown it for you.